We went to Albania with 80 entrepreneurs, and I had the privilege of interviewing the Prime Minister, who's actually now been in power for a historic third term in Albania. It's not every day you see a property investor sitting down and interviewing a world leader. You're gonna want to check this out.
I am delighted to have a conversation with someone whose artistic vision and ideology has extended beyond the canvas into politics. He initiated his career. Our Prime Minister started as the mayor of Tirana with a mission to transform the city, and it is a beautiful city that you see today. Someone with a very strong pursuit for economic reform and modernization, who changed Albania's economic and social prospects once and for all. Thankfully to his leadership, we are now on a path that has changed Albania's prospects forever, and it will definitely unleash its potential even further. Actually, when I wrote my personal statement to apply at the London School of Economics, I said I want to put Albania on the map, but thankfully I don't need to worry about that because Mr. Rama has taken great care of that. But it's my generation's duty to take care of what colors our country is painted on and how the world perceives us, and to continue following his footpaths. I would not like to take any more of your time and just invite us to open this discussion and just again apologize for being late. So the Prime Minister, shumë faleminderit që pranuat ftesën tonë dhe uroj të kemi një bashkëbisedim sa më të këndshëm së bashku.
Well, first of all, I don't take it very badly that you came so late. You know, when people coming from the very low countries are late, it makes us feel better. Because it means that, you know, we are not alone. So I had this ask from the bright lady that opened this discussion and brought you here, and I was very happy to say yes to her, because I always appreciate when young Albanians succeed, and they not only succeed, but they also have this drive of never forgetting where they belong and doing their best to contribute in whatever way. It is a huge contribution, because I see that you are enough numerous to increase our touristic projection for this year, adding to the last year 10 million, and this is also good, and I hope you pay the bills. Because sometimes Italians don't. Yeah, we count them like revenue, but in fact they're debt. So I think it's better to have it as a conversation, to answer your questions, instead of hearing a long speech that maybe will complicate more your idea of Albania, because with Albania there is something very unique. The more you learn about Albania, less you understand Albania. So I'm open to questions, and don't hesitate, whatever questions you have. It's a weekend, so we can talk about everything.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite Malkit. He is one of the directors of Savoys, to lead this conversation, and then we are open for questions and a discussion. Thank you again.
I just want to say a very special thank you for Lori Duca for giving us the opportunity, and for yourself, Prime Minister. Actually, looking into yourself when preparing for this interview, you've gone from being a basketball player, publicist, lecturer, to obviously being the Prime Minister of the country. Now, what has motivated you to actually take this career path?
Listen, you know, sometimes it can look like I have many talents, sometimes it can be the other way around. I was confused. And I tried in many ways to find myself, and it happened to me with everything. Even in marriages, I had to fight to find the right marriage. So, yeah, I think life is really what happens when you are making other plans. And first of all, I was a basketball player because I was told. And in that time in Albania, when you were told, you were picked and you were told, we need you to play basketball. Because it was a dictatorship, and they had to put everyone in the place of the puzzle where they thought to make our collectivity work better. So that's why at that time we didn't have freedom of movement within our country. So nobody could decide where to work or where to move, because everyone was told you have to work in this place, and you have to go in this city, and you have to wait for the next goal, but until then, stay there. So I became a basketball player, which was good for my asthma, because I suffered a lot from asthma when I was a kid, and it helped me a lot. I was not really a great basketball player. I stopped playing quite early, so maybe I could improve, but I have no proof of that. And in the meantime, I always loved art since 3 years old, and I always painted and tried to do art. And then when I was in the art academy, I was kept to be assistant professor, and there it was where the anti-regime movement started. So I got involved in that, and when the regime changed, I didn't want to do politics. It was not something that would appeal to me, and I wanted to just explore the world and go see how the world looked like, because we were fully isolated. We couldn't travel abroad, we couldn't get information from abroad. We were like North Korea of Europe. And then, you know, life happened again. So in very unique circumstances, when the universe had a very big laughter, I became Minister of Culture. And from then, I was asked to run for mayor of Tirana. I won. So things went in my way, let's say, and so I became Prime Minister 2013, and I'm still here, and I'm with you now. So
that's amazing. I saw that you've won 3 back-to-back elections. What do you attribute to that success?
I attribute that success to the election I lost in 2009, and then I won another one in 2011 as mayor for 10 votes, but then I lost it in some strange court procedure, and I learned a lot from that, and this was very important. So sometimes you have to welcome defeat, because it's painful, but it opens up to you spaces of thinking and of acting that otherwise you would not even know that exist.
Now,
your varied roles, has that...
He is emotional.
No, not quite emotional, it's normally in the evening. You've had various roles. Do you think, being from a basketball player, publicist, writer, journalist, to being... have they had an influence on your leadership style?
I was not a journalist. I was someone who couldn't sit calm, and so I became kind of professional troublemaker by wanting to share my opinion with people, and had some strong opinions. So this was the way I got involved in publishing in the media, let's say. At that time, it was just one independent newspaper, and we didn't even have private TVs. It was just one national state TV, completely inaccessible for different opinions. So I was very, very firm in the belief that politics is not just for politicians, it's for everyone, and people should say what they think. Because, politics is the most incredible tool that human beings have created to be able to do together things they can't do alone. You can't do alone many things with all the goodwill and intentions, but when it comes to schools, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to many, many things, you can't do them alone and you can't improve them alone, so you need to be together with people. And more people think that politics is shit and they want to stay far from it, more the shit comes after them because less hands are involved in this art of living. Bigger is the danger that you fall in bad hands. So this was my view, and this remains my view. The bashing of politics like dirty thing is really wrong. Politics is fantastic. Of course, politics has done incredible things for humanity, because without politics we would not have, for example, Great Britain. Without politics we would not have United States. Without politics we would not have European Union, and so on and so further. So of course, without politics, but we'll not have fascism, we'll not have Nazism, we'll not have genocides and all this. But still, it's about people, how people control it, and how much people are keen to fight and to get together and to because it's really, really disturbing that more and more people don't like to vote, don't like to participate. But it's crazy. Because as I said, less you leave the decisions in the hands of the others, bigger the risk you take. Look at Brexit, you know very well who decided. And if all the young people that woke up after it was done would have been there, Brexit would not have happened. So this is very, very clear to me.
Now, just on the Brexit point, I see that you're very keen and you set the foundations for Albania to join the EU. What do you think the benefits of being part of the EU is that maybe a lot of these Britons have missed?
The only good benefits Brexit brought so far is that you don't have EU elections, but the rest, it's horrible. No? So on the other hand, I would not like to compare because it's a totally different, you know. It's like someone that after a long marriage decide to get free. And the fact that all the people that divorce tell you marriage is not a good idea never stop you to think about marrying. So even when you are yourself someone that has divorced, you still, you know, you're still married. So Britain was like getting out of a marriage taken for granted and looking only on the you know, disturbing parts of it, because there is no marriage without disturbing parts. But us now, we are in love, so we are blind. We don't want even to hear about not getting married. And yeah, so it's very different. It's very, very different. And on the other hand, our history is different because we are, for the first time in our history, in the position to deal with the choice we made. Because for centuries, until not long ago, we had to deal with choices we didn't make and we couldn't change. So Europe and the European Union is the choice of the people. Before, people never had a choice. They had simply to suffer what the others imposed to them, being empires, being regimes, being so. And then, you know, Albanians are very loyal, very, very loyal. So this lady, you have to be sure that is very loyal, and you if you need someone in the bad moment, she'll be there for you because she's Albanian. I'm not sure a German will be there for you because you have something planned already. So you can say, "Hey, I am in deep shit. Come to help me." I know I have planned to go and visit my mother-in-law. So it's like we are, and we have been always loyal, and you know, so we were the last to leave the Ottoman Empire, even when the Ottomans had already decided it was not a good idea. We were staying there. We were the last to leave Stalin. You know, even when the Soviets got rid of Stalin, we kept Stalin. We were the last to leave Mao Zedong, even when the Chinese got rid of him. So we'll be the last to leave the EU, even if EU will disappear. So we'll say, okay, we are the European Union, come to us. It would not be a bad idea, you see.
Yeah.
It's a country where you can be 1 hour late and you still find what you want.
With being the most successful Prime Minister in Albania's history, what does it actually take to...
Listen, the bar here is not too high, so
What does it actually take to lead a country?
What is what?
What does it take in terms of skills to lead a country?
Listen, I would not. I'm always afraid of generalization because it's a matter of people and individuals, and everyone is different, and you know, there are many factors, and you know, there are many factors. Some of them depend from you, some of them do not. You know, to me, for example, and I know now that many of you will not agree with me, but you are wrong. To me, one of the greatest prime ministers ever in Europe was Tony Blair. But one thing happened wrong, and today everyone connects Tony Blair with that thing. So you never know. It's there are many things that you don't control, or there are things that you see genuinely in a way, and then time shows that it was wrong. So there are many things. It's not like you do everything by the book and you are successful. No, it's not. You can do everything by the book and you'll never be successful. It's about circumstances, it's about luck sometimes, it's about people around you, it's about many things. So far I can't complain, but I don't know.
Now, many people have seen this film called Taken. What impact do you think that has had on the country and Albanian people?
You mean the film?
The film.
Listen, we didn't need Taken to be seen like suspicious. So we were already seen like that. To us, didn't make a big effect. Maybe because for us was just one more. And maybe some of us thought it was a good thing that at least we were taken seriously by Hollywood as bad guys. Because Albanians excel in everything, even in bad things. We are always one step further. So we excel and exaggerate in hospitality. We excel and exaggerate in passion and in the way we deal with each other. We excel and exaggerate in the volume of voice when we scream to each other. We exaggerate, and we exaggerate when we do bad things. And even as criminals, we are quite an exaggeration. But, and this has been part of the moment of history, because we were getting out of living hell. No idea of the world, no idea of how it functions, no idea of freedom. Because one thing is to live under a rule of law that is imposed by force. Another thing is to live under a rule of law that is supposed to guarantee your freedom. And then it's about a mutual harmony, the state and you. So the state has to serve you, but in the meantime you cannot break the law. So it wasn't really easy for the Albanians. And don't forget that when we appeared at the shores of Europe, we were seen like aliens, like people that didn't look like people. They looked like a huge mass of people getting out of a set of a film of middle age, and we were confronted with horrible prejudgments and misjudgments, and treated very badly, humiliated. For example, in Britain, there are many Albanians from Albania that still live under a fake identity. So, because they had to present themselves like coming from the Kosovo war, and they were not. They were coming from Tirana. And they had to tell stories that were lies. Like they were persecuted and they this and that and that. And they got the right to stay. And of course they did it because they wanted to be able to build a different and better life. And this was how they, now, of course, in that process they had to survive. And when you don't give people the possibility to survive and to live by being themselves, but you force them to change even their identity, and you make it so difficult for them to get a decent job and to be paid, decently, legally, then they do crimes. Of course, some of them, they do crimes.
brought crime in, or prostitution or whatever, or drugs in Great Britain. They found them there. Crime was there, prostitution was there, clients were there, consumers were there, everything, the market of crime was there. Albanians just were a new agent entering the market, ruthless, people that had no idea about consequences and about how it works, and they excelled, and they became a big problem. But it's very important to go at the roots of the phenomenon and to realize that, you cannot deal with crime or with other bad things by labeling people, by singling out ethnicities, and by believing that in doing so you will eradicate crime or you will eradicate shit. No, it's not possible.
We've seen the first 3 months of this year, tourism up 59% compared to the same period last year. Where do you see tourism and the economy going for Albania?
Listen, finally we have got out of the woods, and now people realize that there's a beautiful country where instead of getting raped, you get welcomed. Instead of getting robbed, you are offered everything. Instead of getting kidnapped, you are being taken hostage in front of many plates of food and all this. Eat and do, please eat this, eat that, let's go here, let's go there. And instead of dealing with criminals and with people that are armed, you deal with people that welcome you everywhere and that are very, very happy to host. So this now has become fashion. So everyone wants to come to Albania, and it's fantastic, but it's also dangerous for us to think that this is it, because we have to protect also what mass tourism can destroy, and we have to find a balance between sustainability of the development and the development itself. So we need more high-end, we need more tourists that come and bring more money, consume more money, with the condition they are not Russians, and it's a learning curve. We'll make our mistakes, because as I said, you can read all the books about what can get wrong in a marriage, but you still make your mistakes. So, but it's an incredible moment for Albania. It's a completely different place we are now, because until not many years ago we didn't have that, and people had a lot of prejudices. Most of them didn't know that Albania exists. Them who knew, mostly of them had the wrong opinion, wrong idea about Albania. So there were very few that were free from prejudices, and this took time. But now everyone is taken from Albania. The other way around.
That's amazing. I see international companies such as MAR now are investing heavily in Albania. Is Albania open to foreign investment?
We've always been open. The thing is that from being open to make it, there are many things that you have to make sure and to deal with. So we're having foreign investments, not as much as we should and we need, but we are having.
Will Albania be embracing AI and digital currencies?
Listen, if you don't embrace AI, AI embrace you. So you have to be prepared for that hug. Yeah, we are doing things with AI, and my opinion is that the new technology is the bless of countries like Albania and the curse of countries like Britain. Because the developed countries and countries with long tradition of state and bureaucracy have incredible machines of laws and of procedures, and have a very long experience, which is rooted in their mentality. So it's a bit like, trying to turn fast Titanic. While we don't have it, so we to build a democratic state, it's a very, very heavy exercise, And you have it in Britain because it was built through hundreds of years, and other countries, France or Germany or Sweden, we didn't. So we never had institutions that would work for the purpose institutions work in a democracy. So we need to do it from scratch. And then people say corruption is an offer among the many offers of freedom. So it's an offer. And corruption is everywhere as an alternative if you don't get it through the state. And to make corruption fail as a competitor of the state, you need to have the state working, the state machine working well. So it's not about people, it's about institutions and systems, because I always say, in Germany, you can't find an Albanian, not now, but since day one, they would think to get in the car and start driving without a seatbelt. In Albania, until some years ago now, seatbelt is okay, but German embassy people used to drive without seatbelt, let alone Albanians. So it's not about people. People can behave in totally different ways based on the places they are. And that's why instead of needing decades to make also the public administration aware of the mission, and to have a public administration that is not working for anything else but the state in a country where we are all cousins, it's very difficult. While through new technology you can make exponential progress instead of the linear progress. So new technology allowed us to have now a country that has 95% of the services online. So in Albania, we don't have front offices anymore. So you don't, if you want to get a document, you don't have a physical address to go and stay there and wait, because everything is online. You can get it through your phone, which is amazing, which is unimaginable. But what does it mean? It means that we wiped out a whole system that of course was corrupt, because then you have to go there, then you have to be in a long queue, and then when you arrive in front of the guy will tell you, oh, come tomorrow, come after tomorrow, until you realize that you have to pay something for the guy to serve. Now there is no more middleman. It's just me and the state in the phone. Artificial intelligence brings it another level. And for example, I give you another example. We are now in this integration process, which is practically writing the marriage contract with European Union. And marrying the European Union is like marrying, the most clerical German, which, who want to predict everything, about what can happen in the marriage and how. That's why Britain failed to understand that breaking the contract was not a good idea, because the contract follows Britain after, even now. And it was not as easy as showing the fish in the campaign and saying this fish will be free. No, this fish not only will not be free, but you can't even dream to eat it anymore. So without paying the customs, for example, or whatever. So to write this contract, we have to do a huge process of legislation. It's about, they call it acquis communautaire, which means all the body of law of the country has to be adopted based on the body of law of the European Union. It's a transfer of the body of law to our body of law, which implies 4,000, as we speak, 4,000 and some hundred of laws and bylaws that Albania has to write and approve. Now, physically, based on, because we have started this some years, based on what we have done, the capacities are 60 laws per year. So make the math and imagine how many years you need to do this. When countries start negotiations, of course, they cannot afford to do it for 50 years. So what happens is that an army of translators, an army of drafters is engaged to make it faster. And Croatia, who was a shining example, needed 7 years and a half. To just do this technically, take the laws, translate, adopt, and then vote. With artificial intelligence, we are now working and we can do it in 2 years. So these are things that change completely the capacities a country like Albania has, or corruption and quality of public procurement. With artificial intelligence, which we are working in a new model, we may be able in a year or two to have all public procurement manless. So you don't have any more people that will make choices that are not fair because of being, because of getting corrupted. So I welcome the hug of the AI. I know very well, I know shit, but I just can understand very well the downside of it, the negative effects, the crazy things we are listening that one day the machines will decide for us and so on. And although I think that there is no machine in the world that can be as mean as the human being when the human beings want to be mean. There's no machine. I don't believe that machine, because at the end, all these machines don't produce knowledge. They process the knowledge they find, and the knowledge they find is made by us.
So we'd actually like to open the discussion.
Open it.
So I'm just going to hand it over
I would
to
like to open. Okay, let's think about it. Open.
Yeah. Sergey?
Anyone that has a question,
Good morning, Prime Minister. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Is it?
And this
All you have to say it.
This is my first visit to Albania, and the little I've seen of it so far is very beautiful, and I think you could do a lot of tourism in terms of attracting a lot more, and I'm sure that's something that's on your radar. What I'd like to say is just commenting on what you've been speaking about earlier. It is so refreshing to hear a Prime Minister speaking so openly and honestly about all the challenges that faces the world today, not just your country, but every other country. And as you said, Brexit was an absolute meltdown for the United Kingdom. I think I speak for most people here, if not all, which we are very troubled by still. And it just happens that we're coming yet again full circle, having to vote again in 6 weeks' time as to where we go with the direction of our country. And it would be great to get some advice from you as to what we in the United Kingdom could do to help, not just ourselves, but yourselves. Thank you.
Wow. Listen, I'm not the most modest person you can find, but really I am always very careful to give advice. When I was a kid, my parents were hammering me, as every parent, do this, do that, do this, do that. And I remember what I was doing was telling to myself while being hammered, promise, 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 swear, 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 you'll never do this to your kids and to anyone. And this is how I've been as a father, not the best father, but I always choose to do this, to tell my son, listen, son, if you go towards the wall, the wall will break you, but you are free to do it if it's your choice. So I just have to tell you my humble opinion based on my experience that the wall cannot be broken by your head. Your head will be broken by the wall. But if you really think that you want to do it. You are free. No, it's serious. This is how I've done it. It could have been very risky, but I'm happy. Now he's 33 and it works very well. So he's okay. He's free, and he makes his decision. So what Britain can do, I don't know. After such a big fuck up, I don't know. But as Boris Johnson told me once, don't worry, Eddie, Britain will be on its feet again. Okay, so I think Boris has a very, very, very visionary judgment, and so what can I say? It's crazy. It's completely crazy. But now, beyond the joke, I believe that Europe is paying a very heavy price, and the price is going to be even higher in the years to come, until Europe will, and not Europe, but the people in Europe will realize that yes, there are things that are not going well. Yes, there are problems. Yes. But still, they are in the best place compared to everyone in this world. And I think the price being paid has to do with the fact that for the first time in history, the Europeans of today have not seen war in their home. So they forgot war and what Britain or the others had to deal with. The Second World War became more and more, blurred in the huge clouds of Netflix, and started to look like they were fictions. And nobody really kept in mind that, that all this long peace and all this huge development could spoil people, could spoil the society to the point that we went through such a breakup like Brexit that is stunning. And so I don't know, it's really very, very difficult to understand how this can change in a good way, in the sense that people realize that, okay, there are many things that I'm doing well, but still, everyone would like to be in our place. So just imagine the world, and just imagine the people of the world, and tell me one person, or I mean, tell me one population, wherever you want, out of the European Union, who would not like to be in Britain, or in Germany, or in Sweden, or there is no one. So compared to what they have, the level of freedom, the level of wealth, the level of opportunities, the level of between the people that live in Britain or live in Europe and people that live in Latin America, people that live in eastern part of the world, people that live wherever you want. There's no comparison, yes. So it's great to change things, but it's not really great to destroy a house without even knowing where you'll build a new one. This is what I'm seeing, you know. It's like, let's destroy this house because we need a new house. Okay, but sorry, but where, how, what will be different, and so on. Because so far we have a house. So what? But you know, social media and all this crazy horizontal leadership of the world is out of control, and God save the Queen.
Hi, Mr. Edi Rama. I'm quite big set on mindset and motivation, and sometimes you speak to people and you try to motivate them and they're like, that's not possible, I ain't got time for that. And there's a famous saying that even the President of the United States has the same 24 hours as you do. So what I'd like to know is, what does a day in the life look like for you, and how do you stay productive and keep pushing your country forward?
First of all, I don't envy the President of the United States. First of all. So, yeah, I know I'm whomever will run this country. But, yeah, you know, it's, as I said before, it's about many things. It's not just about you. It's about starting with your wife. It's very important. So, I strongly believe that if I would not have had the wife I finally found after some bumps in my marital life, I will not be who I am. I will not do what I do. You know, because it's, you know, I've seen myself great talents and abilities that have been destroyed by their wives. Simple. Because, you know, and then it's about your kids, and then it's about your friends, and then it's about your collaborators. You know, you choose people, and then, you know, but we choose people based on some assumptions that we never know. So sometimes this goes well, sometimes this goes wrong. In general, for me, it went well, and it's about a moment in time. And as I said, it's about events. You think that you are in the best moment to imagine that next year will be fantastic, and then you have a pandemic, and then you have to deal with something that is out of your control, and then things can turn in many ways, and then, or you have an earthquake, boom. And in a few seconds, you realize that you have 25,000 families that have lost their home. And you are in a country that you don't have means. And you, at that moment, you can say, and I always remember this great quote of Lyndon Johnson, who said, there are moments in this job that you hate yourself to have to be in this place and in this particular bad moment, but you have to deal with it. So again, it's a learning curve, of course, but at the end, all these are important, but the most important is the fire within. You have the fire, you keep going. You don't have the fire, of course, taking for granted that your job, the job of a leader, is to lead, is not to just enjoy power and to do other things that power offers. Power is a beast that cannot be compared to any beast. Power can make of you a piece of shit, and you have to be aware of it, because there are many temptations, there are many easy shortcuts, there are many things that can turn you in a horrible person. So but the fire is the most important. You have the fire, and of course it's also I always say this. Every person that has a dream that he sees with open eyes, not the dream with closed eyes. I don't recommend to follow this kind of dream. But if you see with open eyes a dream, you say, I want to achieve that. The fact that you see it, it means you can do it. But you will do it only if you are ready for all the sacrifices that it will take. So, take Leo Messi. I hope you still know Leo Messi. He was a kid with a disease that a hormonal disease, and every doctor said to his parents that the kid cannot grow. And he was saying, I will play in Camp Nou. This was his thing. And he was going around the neighborhood with the ball, alone. Of course he's talent, of course he's genius, but the connection of his feet with the ball, this thing that, when you see him, it's like the ball cannot leave his feet until his feet decide to leave the ball free. Comes from the very poor neighborhoods with bad roads and completely fucked up sidewalks, where you turn and turn and turn along with the ball. So he learned to manage the ball in terrain that was not a football pitch. And he was always saying, I will play in Camp Nou. And he had to go through very heavy therapies and very heavy, skepticism and all this, and look, he achieved it. And this is how it is in all lives of people that achieve something, because it's about the fire and the drive and the will. We have a very famous singer, I don't know if you are familiar, she has been many times praised also in Britain, opera singer, she was a kid from a very poor family with big drama, big drama, with a sister that is still in a mental facility and all this. And she was the most improbable of all the class to become a star. Physically, the less convincing. The voice, not much at that period. I'm talking when she was 14, 15. And she was saying, I was singing La Scala. And people were just saying, poor girl. And she sang the La Scala. But if you talk to her and if you ask what it took for her to get there, it's unbelievable. It's a film. It's unbelievable. The sufferings, the humiliations, the breakdowns, unbelievable. And now she's, after a stunning career, she sang in all the most important operas. Placido Domingo praised her like the one after Maria Callas and all this. Now she is the longest standing soprano in terms of age, because for sopranos there is an age group. Longest standing soprano on the set. And I was talking to her some time ago, and she was telling me about the studies, because this was her second obsession. I will not fade away because age will decide so. I'll leave the scene when I decide. And she studied big time the body, anatomy, pathology, all this. And then she invented a training for the inner muscles, which is impossible to train. Because we have the muscles that we train, but we have inner muscles that are very, very deep, that you don't train. And she trains the inner muscles to help the voice. It's incredible. And why? Just because she's psycho and she wants to get there, and that's it. And now, no, it's not possible. Nobody did. Okay, you'll do 50 years old, so I don't know who left the scene. Okay, you'll do 50 and 1 month. She said, no, I don't care. I leave when I will not have the fire anymore, but not when the body will not be able to follow my fire. The fire will decide what the body will do, not the body will decide to simply tell my fire I can't follow you. So it's incredible. And this is how we did.
Thank you, beautiful answer.
I sometimes have very long answers.
Good morning, Prime Minister. You mentioned earlier the lack of participation from the general public with voting and various other things. What do you think it takes from a leadership perspective to deal with economic shifts and the generational shifts that are happening right now?
You are really well. You should feel very well in Albania to make such mistakes. Listen, I told you before, and I'm telling you again, I'm very afraid that the social media is a force that is out of control and it's too late to control. And with that, I'm quite tragically optimistic. Because, I was talking some time ago with were used made their way today. And so has of course brought down the traditional press and newspapers and to go through cuts and through. And he said the first people that were cut out of the job in the big newspapers were the fact checkers. So if you, when you listen to this, you understand that fact checkers have been the tool that have guaranteed the health of democracies, that have guaranteed for the general public to be informed, not to feel informed, but to be informed. Two different things. Today we have a general public that feel informed, but it's not informed. And which is even worse. And the whole work of whomever wants to influence the public is not to inform, is to give them a strong feeling of being informed. Like Brexit. Brexit was the most incredible charade I've seen in my life in terms of throwing to the public lies after lies after lies after lies, which were not necessarily lies in the sense that they decided to lie. They believed in it. So the truth is that the people that led Brexit, they believed in their bullshit. And they told. And the fact that in the Great Britain, one of the greatest democracies in the world, if not the greatest, the facts didn't make the way, had no power to tell people, hey, what are you listening? And the fight was not between facts, but was between lies and facts, and lies had their way. It's crazy. It is totally shocking and it's scary. So, in that sense, I don't know. I don't know how this can balance. It's impossible. At least to me, it's impossible to understand how this can balance because internet did not make democracy more vibrant. Internet is not a space of dialogue. It's a problem. It's a space of confrontation. So, because to have a normal space, you need people to have the freedom to speak, but also you need to guarantee the right to listen. There is no more right to listen. There's no more. And everyone is in a trench and throws all against the other trench. Division without middle space to create, to listen to each other. You know, because freedom of speech, okay, but freedom of speech, but freedom of listening and then time. There's no time to listen. There's no time to listen. There's no time to doubt anymore because it's so fast that you don't. Once upon a time, you know, you heard something and you had to find a telephone in the streets and to have a coin and to wait if someone else was talking so you had time to process. Or you had to go home, or you had to meet the guy who you had seconds, we don't even process, and you boom, send immediately the response. And then there is a lot of loss in translation when you go back and forth. So there is no time to listen, there's no time to doubt, there's no time to reflect on things. And then tragedies like Brexit happen, and you had it, and now what do you do? This is how. But there are many Brexits happening every day in the people's life. People are evading the space of common sense more and more, and are becoming extreme, and are finding extreme positions to deal with their own frustration. I don't know. So it's really scary, and I'm sorry to not give you a more optimistic view of that, but I'm sure that after you leave this room, the son of Albania, the fun of Albania, will make you digest all the drama you were You're learning the questions. I'm not making. If you'd ask me what was best to eat in Albania, maybe this would be much more relaxing. But if you ask me about Brexit, you ask me about then you have to endure it. What can I do? Maybe I don't want to be a bad monster and to throw you all the depression that you are bringing from Great India. Yeah, it's some hands that, and I was going to say to you, you are being quite discriminatory because you are not. There are so many hands at the end, and these people here in the front row are making questions.
I apologize.
It looks like a very class division. So leave the microphone to the proletarians there at the end.
Absolutely.
No, you are not really at the end, so
Thank you. And thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister, for hosting all of us. You are first and foremost described, and I think you described yourself as an artist. And the question that I have for you is, how has having the passion for such a creative form inspired your work in politics and running the country?
it didn't. Listen, first of all, I don't describe myself as an artist. I describe myself in a different way. Because in this I'm unique in the world. There's no another one. I'm the best artist among prime ministers. And I'm the best prime minister among artists. So in this, no competition. George Bush was a bad painter, but he's not around anymore. So I'm alone in this. Listen, people always tend to ask me this, how art or you being an artist defines you being a politician. It doesn't. There are two different worlds. I always say, politics is my gun, art is my prayer book. So you have to do both. Of course, art helps me to guarantee some sanity, because I could get crazy doing the job. It's not easy to be Prime Minister of Albania, and it's not easy to be Prime Minister of anywhere else. But Prime Minister of Albania is not an easy job, because, as I said, we are a country of cousins, and cousins are big trouble. Everyone knows everyone, so we have also this way of dealing with each other that, oh, my son, oh, my nephew, oh, look at this, oh, my God. But if there is a moment that I I would say it helped me being coming from art world was when I became mayor. And this city that you see today, at that time, and it's not, you can sit, don't stand, my answer can be too long.
I can see this myself.
Yeah, okay, good. Up to you. It's not a metaphor, it's just one of the facts. This city, in 2000, when I was elected, had only 78 lamps being on during the night in the streets. 7, 8. And it was also a big energy crisis because there were a lot of people coming to Tirana and the grid was quite challenged. So if you'd walk Tirana by night, you'd feel in these scenes of films about apocalypse or something, because people used to lit candles with fuel and to put them on the windows. And no much public lighting, so you see these huge walls of in the darkness with these candles like graves. And it had only $6.3 million of capital investment per year, the whole city for everything. So I was elected, I go there, and it was October. All the budget, of course, was evaporated, and what to do? What to do? And I asked, do we have any project going on? He said, I had this one project in the entrance, the entrance in Tirana, where you came, you came from Rugadursit, or you came from the ring. Anyhow, it's this entrance road, let's say, less than 1 kilometer, that the European Union had financed at the time with 1.5 million euro to fix the pavements and to fix the facades and all that. And the 90s were tremendous, because before we lived in a country that was where everything was controlled, and no private property, no private cars. Albania had 5,000 cars in total, and they were all official cars, not private. And then, when the regime collapsed, everyone started to occupy land. So all the parks you see today, you couldn't see in 2000, because they were occupied, except the big part of the lake. But the rest, here in the city, totally occupied. The pyramid here was full of kiosks and buildings. The lake, the river was not visible, because on both river banks there were 2 trains of buildings from 1 to 8 floors. And the buildings you can see if you look after I tell you can see a lot of old buildings where there are masses of built that are not normal, meaning something doesn't fit. Because people used to break the windows in the first floor to make them doors and to transform their apartments in shops. And then we were in the last floor. I saw the hand at the end don't keep it up because it looks like telling me stop, don't bullshit anymore. The people that were at the last floor, they broke the ceilings to add another room. People that were in the middle, they changed the balconies, made them kind of gorgeous to get more. So everything was like crazy and like hands pushing from inside to get more space. And when I saw the project, I said, okay, but what color you put to these buildings? And they looked at me, what color they had? I said, what do you mean color they had? They are not anymore who they were. So we need to change the way we paint them, otherwise they look like monsters. They looked at me like I was, and I said, okay, bring me the plans. So I decided the colors, the strong colors. Okay? And at the time and everyone was caring to change the apartments, but no one was caring anymore about public space. So Tirana was full of this, emballage, paper brown. Yeah, because people were buying television sets, were buying fridges and washing machines from abroad, and all was from the packing. And they were caring about their own apartments, but they were not caring how the building looked when they changed. So we started this thing, and I go in my office in the morning, and my assistant says, the guy of the enterprise is working there, he's calling. Every minute, something is not. I say, okay, put it, and I call him and says, Mayor, please, you have to come. I'm in the middle of big trouble. And I started to pay, but it's a big trouble here. Okay, I'm coming. And I go, and it was really big trouble. He started to paint, and it was kind of 15 meter squares of orange, an orange like the Dutch national team. In the middle of the gray, and of the whole dark. And there were kind of 50, 60 people, maybe more, under the building, looking at the orange, like a rock star was somewhere up, and having reactions, and the traffic jam looking and it was and he said to me, and I have this French supervisor in front of me, he's like an aubergine. I don't know what he's saying because the translator is late, but I'm sure he's not saying good things to me. And the French guy comes to me and says, Mr. Mayor, this is a scandal. I said, what? What do you mean, what? Look at this. This is a scandal. This is a shame. He says to stop immediately. He said, what is it? This color. It's horrible. I said, so, sir, what do you have to do with the color? It's not something that should concern you. He said, of course it concerns me. I said, well, okay, what's wrong? He said, it's out of any European standards. And he said, oh, really? But do you see anything around that is within European standards? He said, well, no, but there is a difference. This shame is happening with EU taxpayers' money. The rest, okay. He said, so what you are suggesting? He said, change the color. I said, no way. He said, okay, I'll solve the financing. I said, well, great. You gave me the idea to have my first press conference as mayor and to say, I thought censorship was over with communism, but EU seems to be our new censor. He said, oh, no, we're not going to do this. I said, I'm going to do this right away. He said, well, let's try to compromise. I said, no, compromise in colors is gray. And we have so much gray, we don't want more. So it went on with that. And of course, it was a shock, very shocking. And for 2-3 months, the main topic for Albanians were colors. It looked like Albania, with all the problems, turned in a cafe in Montmartre when impressionists were having a discussion. Parliament, colors, radio, colors, bars, colors. And of course, the noisy minority was very much against it. And they were telling me that I was a crazy pervert, whatever, that was turning the city in a circus, in a brothel, and this and that. And after a while, I started to worry because it was not right. It was too much noise. And people going there and making photo pictures. And I made the most favorite poll of my life. I said, okay, let's do a poll and understand what is going on. You know? And it was a very simple poll with 2 questions. Do you like the color of variation of mayor? And do you want it to stop or to continue? 63% said we like it, but 85% wanted it to continue. So half of them didn't like it, they don't want it to stop. You know, this, you like, I thought, no. So, but what I didn't see coming were the collateral effects, which taught me a lot. There were only 4% of the revenues that municipality could collect from the entire. Nobody gave down the municipalities. In the painted roads, we saw 100% tax collection. Without even asking, they said people started to pay taxes because they started to feel that, you know, they did something for us. Okay, we do what we have to do. And the second thing I didn't see coming was the crime rate. Started to go down in the areas that were getting out of the mess. So colors, lights, you know, all the beauty, and no crime. So I learned that if you want to fight crime, better beauty than police. Because beauty is very intimidating. But it is an intimidation that numbs you, paralyzes you, you know. Imagine yourself how much intimidated you will be when you're seeing the most beautiful woman in your life. You will be numbed. You couldn't do anything. Police intimidates you, but motivates anger, motivates reaction, motivates. Of course, police is very necessary, and look how much ugliness is connected with frustration, ugly neighborhoods, ugly situations are connected with crime, frustration, all this. And look how much different it is when spaces are, you know, beautiful, and they create an energy where people feel like, even criminals feel like, let's go somewhere else to kill this person, you know, because here it doesn't seem right. Because it's very, you know. So this was the moment art helped me, or art, I mean, who I am helped me, because I don't think the lawyer who's paint the paint in the city, but otherwise, I don't know, it's not about joke. So when people say, sometimes I have friends of mine, I say, oh, art should be Prime Minister. God forbid, because, you know, you can have disaster. You know, it's not the category of people, it's the people themselves. You know, you have great people in politics or you can have great people in politics That can be lawyers, it can be farmers, it can be whatever. It's the people. It's not a category. You take the artist, put in the artist, and then I don't know what kind of, you know, better place you can end. Because it's not a category, it's a person, in my view. Either one from the guy behind the door.
Thank you so much.
He was.
Hi there, my name is Mike Harley. Thank you for having us here today. I really appreciate your time. The room is full of entrepreneurs and business owners. I'm really curious to know what the current corporate tax rate here is and what your future plans are for that, because in countries like Ireland, there's seen loads of corporate businesses move over. Singapore, they're doing really well. Obviously, loads of people here are, well, myself looking at moving to Dubai, but I'd love to know what your future plans are for tax here for corporates.
Listen, I'm telling you this, you know, you are in the age to leave Britain regularly. And forget about Singapore and all this corporate, non-corporate, you know. You are in the age where you can make the best out of this country. I'm not doing propaganda here, then I hope one of you will try, and in 5 years' time he or she will tell you, fuck off, because I didn't success. Because, you know, Albania is not as easy as it looks. For sure, it's not as easy as it looks, you know, but it is a country in making. And it's a country where there are rules, but there are not so many rules, and frankly, you can play with the rules still. What is better for entrepreneurs who have rules to play with? Because if you know, this is part of your DNA. If you are entrepreneurs, if you are clerks, you have to forget about making money with enterprise. So I believe that beyond the taxes that are much lower than in Britain, for sure, to start with, so we have 15% corporate tax. It's flat, whatever you make. You make 100 million or 1 billion, you pay 15%. We have for the small business, and we call it small business, until 140,000 euro of turnover, no tax, zero, and no VAT until 100,000. So if you, for example, make a startup or make a little business to start with, and you put 100,000. You don't pay VAT, you don't pay tax again. You simply have to register your people for the sake of Social Security, and that's it. But these are, or if you invest in tourism or in agritourism, which is amazing, then you have only 6% of VAT. And you have 5% of profit tax. That's it. And agritourism is amazing because you create an instrument in the middle of beautiful nature where you also live, and you do your other things, and you can work remotely for other countries, and you bring people, and you make money. So, but again, these are just very little hints about the place that is really the place to explore. It's like discovering a new territory to make business and then, sorry, but how long you have decided to leave? I say to my minister there, and with me I say, yes, we are the country of eagles, but not sure. So here you'll never be bored. For all reasons, you'll never be bored for good or and sometimes for bad reasons. But you'll never be bored. It's not a country that you wake up and it is Tuesday is the same Tuesday you always have. No. Something will happen, so it's a nice place to be explored, and I'm not saying that you have necessarily to come here and to forget about it, but you have to look at it like your place where you can see somebody and you can start something and you can come time after time. Like there is a famous architect, Ken Kuma, I don't know if you've heard about it, one of the greatest in the world, and he says, Tokyo is my home, Albania is my refuge, the rest is my messy business. And he is international, he goes everywhere. So this can be a nice destination, a nice refuge for you to kind of try to do something.
I would like to ask one final question, which has been raised by a lot of you on this weekend and previous events that we've done. What are the most attractive prospects to invest in Albania, and what are the biggest challenges for an international investor?
We are now opening, I don't know if you are interested in technology, but we are now opening a new tech park, which we made sure to have the best legislation in terms of being attractive. It's like kind of free zone. And technology, of course, we have a lot of, for example, digital nomads, and we have a very good environment of high tech, which is still taking shape, but people that enter in it feel okay, feel good. And the food is incredible. And it's not incredible just if you go in some fancy restaurants, it's incredible everywhere. Because we are still not converted in fully European Unionist. So we are not EU, we are E without you. And so there are many reasons that I feel very well about this country. As a former emigrant, I was, I would not have said this 5 years ago. And when I had these type of conversations, frankly, not very often, but this is the power of her that brought you here and kept me for a whole Saturday with you. But before I was not telling people what I'm telling you today, or what I told I was another group of Stanford coming some weeks ago. That I would say, frankly, you can listen to me, but it's not yet ready for you. So I used to say this 4 or 5 years ago. Today, I believe it's a new frontier. It's a new frontier. And don't forget one thing. It's a very safe place. And it's very safe now also for Albanians, but it has always been safe for foreigners. Because we have this tradition. And I don't know if you were told that, but our first common law, the first written law of Albania in the Middle Age, starts with the phrase, the house of Albania belongs to God and the guest. And then there is a whole chapter about the guest, but it's not the guest, we have another word, Shekari. It's not the guest that you invite. Of course, who is invited, no doubt, but it's who knocks at the door. And there is a whole explanation about when the door knocks, is the will of God. So you have to open the door. Whoever is behind the door is there because God wrote. So you know, fine. You don't know him or her, you have still to welcome. And even if your enemy is behind the door, you have to welcome him. And you cannot do any harm to the enemy. And nothing should happen to your guest within the perimeter of your property, because then it's on you. And if someone kills your guest within the perimeter of your property, you have to take revenge, you have to kill the killer. And if you refuse to do so, you are ostracized from the society. So your family members are not anymore welcome in any social event. But if you want still to live in the house and you don't want the house burned, you have to send a male member of your family in every funeral. Because after the funeral, we have this custom to go to the home of the dead and to say sorry and go for coffee. So to that representative of this family that has dishonored the house by not revenging the guest, the coffee is offered on the floor. So he has to bend to take the coffee. And this is a stigma that who betrays the guest is not, it cannot be anymore right, it's always like this. So this now is a bit more moderate, so be careful to not be killed, because I cannot kill for you. Rule of law. But, you know, be killed, don't worry. But it has still its influence on the way we treat foreigners. And it's a country where we had many dead people during these 30 years. We had 97 crazy uprisings because of pyramid schemes falling and because people taking the weapons and killing 4,000 among each other. But no foreigner has been ever touched here. We had only one couple of Czechs that died because they went too far in the mountain, trespassed all the signs, and they found a solitary, crazy person living in the woods, killed them. But otherwise, you know. And the second shame, this was a big shame, and the guy was shamed forever. In a restaurant, he did something bad too. But in general, he doesn't. And Albania today is very safe. You can be a woman, you can have bracelets, you can have bag, you can walk through 3 in the night, nobody will touch you, even if you are, Albanian. Which is not the case in London anymore, or in Paris, or in Milan, or in, forget Naples, because Naples was over. So, there are many reasons to see Albania as a, as a kind of part of the horizon of building up your businesses or whatever. But so far we're satisfied that you came to spend some money here. And then if you come to invest, even better. But spending some money. Although we didn't ask for a ticket here to allow you to have this conversation. I did it for free, so thank you very much. I hope I was not boring, because this is the only goal I have when I have to talk to people, to not be boring. I know that sometimes I speak long, but it happens only when I enjoy it. I can be also very, very disgusting. And giving very fast answers and leaving, believe me, I can be that. But when I enjoy, then I enjoy. So you make me enjoy this. And you know what I enjoy the most? The colors of these crowds. Fantastic. Blondes, brunes, black, white, all together, all happy, all curious. This is how the world should be. So thank you for bringing me this fantastic view, which I enjoy very much, although some of you don't see me, although I'm tall, but so thank you very much, and I'm sure she will take good care of you. She is the daughter of a great father, and he's a great father not because he's my friend, but he's my friend because he's a great man and also a great father. And among many things, she is very well known for being a very hospitable person. So I'm sure the daughter is, well educated to be a very good host. So you are in best hands, and you can enjoy. If you want to not pay, she'll not ask you. She'll pay the bill.
They drink too much.
She'll get a loan to pay the bills. And will not tell you, but I'm sure you'll not let her do that. So.
I would like to thank you again very much. Some of the guests really want to take photos, so if it's possible, just shortly.
Yeah, this is the pain that comes after the sweet. How we do maybe at the stairs there outside, and we do a group photo.
I think a group is easier. A group is probably easier.
Yeah, just a group.
No, because I have to. Okay, always have to, but. Could be more complicated if we do, start, because there are so many, and but it's fine. It's fine. I'm just no. Maybe we go on the corridor, and I show you also something that I'm very excited, which is a new building we are